Mom and them had to walk to school about 2 miles. The school they went to was in the churchyard over on 111.
Okay.
But the school I went to, that's the one was closed over there where the first dam was built, right across. But we had to walk around. Because the creek was too wide to make a crossing down there. We had to walk around where the road go, and then down to the schoolhouse. It wasn't far.
Okay. But you said great grandmama when so she got married. She was still taking care of her brothers and sisters.
Until she got married.
And then what happened?
Well, Sister Miller, she took the kids was just went from Uncle Alex took some of Sister did, and Mama took Sister Miller. And they raised them.
Okay.
In the home house, they just left the home house over there where Lonnie lived, where Bigger lived. That's where the home house was. We used to go in there, Deborah. Mamas, they was on their way to be very successful people. Her mother and father. Because her mother had her own house in Bergen.
Oh.
They had a piano, they had an organ.
Wow.
And some of the furniture, we went over there, was still in the house what Uncle Allen didn't take. He was the oldest boy. And see, the girls just, and he said everything was his.
Because he was the oldest boy.
Because he was the oldest boy. But see, he had a terrible wife. She mistreated them boys. And every one of them left her. Left him. And they wouldn't stay with her. When they got, because the baby boy stayed with Sister Smith. And Sam stayed with Sister. Where did Lonnie stay? Lonnie stayed with Sister Millie's son, too. His baby son, that was his. Because Sister took care. She was older than Sister Millie. Sister raised her. And Mama raised Sister Millie till Sister Millie got married. Many can remember, Sister Millie used to take Minnie to school with her. See, but I can remember when Sister Millie used to stay with us. And I can remember when she got married. Because see, it's just 28 months is 2 years and 4 months. That's the only difference between me and Minnie's age.
Okay.
And I can barely remember. Mama didn't say I could. She said, you just remember because we talked about it. But I can barely remember when Sister Millie got married. But, see, that was, Sam stayed with Sister. You never met Uncle Sam, did you?
That's the one you was telling me about, the one that lived in the woods by himself?
The one would go, you see up there where we went yesterday, up what we call the dam? He used to go away and spend a whole winter, maybe spend a whole season up there. It was nothing for him to go away for 2 or 3 months. And he was a good cook. That's what my mother's father did. He barbecued. And him and this guy had barbecued for the 4th of July. And they was drinking this white whiskey. They always had that somebody made that white whiskey out here. And they, over to where you know where Zion Church is? Back here, out in that that feel right in that little turn we made.
Mm-hmm.
That was the ball down.
Mm.
And they had barbecue. They would barbecue, and it would take them all night to cook a hog. They would barbecue a whole hog. They would dig a hole in the ground and put wire across.
Mm.
And that's how they cook their meat.
Mm.
And see, it would take them all 2 or 3 pound hog.
Mm-hmm.
And they had barbecue. He did the barbecue and cooking. They had cooked and they made camp stew. Him and this.
Made what?
They made camp stew, like Lonzo. Lonzo got a lot of that in it.
What is camp stew?
Camp stew is just a stew made out of beef, pork, tomatoes, and put iced potatoes and put milk in. And
why they call it camp stew?
That's what they called it back then.
It sounds like they're from the army or something.
I don't know, but that's what it was, camp stew. And they made it in a wash pot. You know what a wash pot is, don't you?
No.
A big old black iron pot
Mm-hmm.
that we used to boil clothes in.
Okay.
And they cooked, that's how they cooked it.
So the men in his family do a lot of cooking.
Who?
The men in his family. You say for generations the men in his family been cooking.
Well, all of Mama's brothers was just like Lonzo, cook, all of them. Lonnie, after his wife died, he would cook for him and his son. After all them kids left, all his other kids left, he cooked for him and that boy that I told him he just like his dad. Now he looked just like his dad.
Seems like only the Laos men don't cook.
No, but they could cook. Van could cook. Van was, but they just. I ain't never know Reverend Biles couldn't boil water. But my daddy could cook.
But they were sharecroppers.
And they were sharecroppers. My daddy
Maybe
cooked.
that's why they couldn't cook.
Maybe so. I don't know. But
your father could cook.
Yeah, my father cooked when he was in the army.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got out the army, he cooked, and Daddy could cut hair.
Mm-hmm.
He cooked, and he cut hair, and saved his money. And the main, Dad and them came over here from another county. They wasn't born in this community.
They came from where?
Coosa.
Coosa?
Coosa County or something.
Okay.
My mama used to call him. Yeah, his mother. See, his father left when. Let's see, Daddy, Uncle Curly, Uncle William. He left. He said he was tired. Daddy's father was half Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy said, Daddy never did tell us. I guess Uncle Curly told us that his daddy got up one morning and said, I'm tired. They were living on some white folks' place. I'm tired of old soul. And they live around a body of water.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Daddy knew how to swim and, fish and all that stuff. And said his father got up. The last they saw of his father, he was from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was his name?
Columbus.
Columbus Milton?
Right. And Daddy said, Uncle Curly said his Daddy never would tell it. All folks didn't tell you nothing. Daddy just said my daddy left. But Uncle Curly, after we got grown and I'm living in Kentucky, that's when Uncle Curly told us. His daddy got up, said he didn't believe his daddy was dead. Said because his daddy was a good swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
That same river.
Coosa River.
And said, the white folks didn't want their niggas to leave. It wasn't slavery, but they act like they owned it.
Mm-hmm.
and said his daddy left and was gonna swim that river, and said he was going back to New Orleans, and they took it that his daddy got drowned. That's the way they thought. That's all they thought. They never heard from him since then.
He just left?
He just up and left. Say, I'm tired of this old white man, and said he was going to swim some part of this Coosa River below go through where they were living. I did know the name of that river. But Uncle Curly said he didn't believe his daddy got drowned. He said he believed his daddy swam that river and got away. It just didn't come back. But it seemed like...
How old were they? They must have been quite young.
He was... Well, he had... Let me see. 1, 2, 3. But they married young. Mm-hmm. I bet he probably 50 or... He had to be all them children he had. Mm-hmm. And they never heard from him. He had came in here. Well, see, he could remember. His father must came in here as a slave. I don't know. He must have came in on a ship to Louisiana, because that's where a lot of them. And he said he was going back home.
You mean he came on a slave ship to Louisiana?
I bet it. I don't know whether he did or not. He was born in Louisiana, but that's where he was born. And he ended up. I don't know how he, but cause Daddy's mother. Now he was older than she was. Mm-hmm. Now Daddy's mother was 8 years old when they freed the slave.
Okay.
So I'm sure
that he was
older than she was. So maybe his parents came in here on the slave ship, and he was born in Louisiana. But he had made his way up here in Alabama, and that's where he met her.
And you said he was half Indian?
Mm-hmm.
From Louisiana?
Huh?
From Louisiana?
Yes. Because the first time we went, we were going to the old cemeteries. Mm-hmm. And a man told us it was just one, because they buried people on top of the ground out in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And we went to that cemetery. Mm-hmm. But we didn't find no Milton. Mm-hmm. Because we said we would, go see if we had found a Milton, we was going to the courthouse and try to trace Daddy's family. Now that happened the first time Gwen and them took when we went to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. You and Mama and Aunt Arlene
and yeah.
Did Shirley go?
Yeah. Shirley. Minnie went too.
So it was 5 of y'all.
Mm-hmm. We rented a car and went on vacation. And this man said it wasn't no. We found one cemetery that was just out in the field, like we knew they buried people back then. Mm-hmm. And he said they quit. Some man told us that they stopped burying people like that so many years ago. Mm-hmm. And he told us where the oldest cemetery was, and we went there. But all those, they were buried on top of the ground. Mm-hmm. He said they had to bury them on top of the ground every time. And we just walked over there until we got tired. We couldn't find no headstone that was a Milton. Yeah, his name was Columbus Milton, Daddy's father. And they just felt like he got drowned in the river, because they never heard from him anymore.
And you said the white people didn't want him to leave. He was a sharecropper or what?
I'm sure that's what Dad was, a sharecropper too. And I don't know how they came down and lived on the Cranshaw's place.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy cooked for that, the field hand.
Okay. For the Crenshaws.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But some Crenshaws are a part of our family.
That was Mama's first cousin, mother. It was Mama's auntie, who Daddy used to live with, whose place they lived on.
Mm-hmm.
Because they was the big shot. They had houses on their land that the sharecroppers could live in.
The Crenshaws.
Yes. That was Coldness. The wife was Mama's auntie. He married Mama's grandmother's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She was our great aunt. She was Mama's auntie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whose place Daddy lived on, and they cooked. And he cooked till he went in the army.
Mm-hmm. So he knew how. Oh, I thought he may have learned how to cook in the army. He knew how to cook before.
Before he went to the.
And you saying he was cooking these African foods, like you were saying about this fish head and.
Well, yeah, he cooked. He called it gumbo. But he wouldn't cook much, cause the thing down here was women did the housework and cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the men, all except Sam and Lonnie, that they would cook.
Mm-hmm.
Sam would go out in the garden and pick any kind of vegetables. There wasn't nothing. Same time as yet. They grew them vegetables and stuff. And Sam would go out there just like a woman and cook and pick what he wanted and cook for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uncle Allie barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Junior know about Uncle Allie. He got Junior, they kill her. Junior helped kill her off with half of them. Junior know.
Mm-hmm.
But all them boys. See, Mama's grandfather was half white.
Mm-hmm. He was in Austin.
He was an Austin.
Mm-hmm.
See, Mama's mother.
His grandfather was half. Her grandfather was half white.
Yeah.
So that means he was definitely a slave.
Who?
Your mother's grandfather.
His mother was a slave. They had free. Well, if Mama Sally, he would have been about her age. See, his parents were slaves.
But if he was half white, then only one of his parents was a slave.
His mother was a slave.
And his father
was the white Austin man we talked to. They live on the Austin's slaves. Them slaves like they had white slaves like that. They daddy was white and their mother was
So the Austins
white.
who were out there, were they the landowners or they were other white people working on the land?
They were landowners but now I'm saying it like this. Mama's grandfather, they had freed the slaves then, but his parents were living on. They were the slaves. His parents, Mama's grandfather's parents was the slaves.
Okay.
Cause, he had got killed. Her grandmother was dead. But his wife, his second wife, you hear us talking about Aunt Q and Uncle Willie.
Mm-hmm.
Those were his children, her grandfather's children, by his second wife after his first wife died.
Okay.
And see, that was Aunt Q and Uncle Charlie. That's how you met one Uncle Charlie's, that was his daughter. You met him at church, because they said, oh.
Sharifa?
Sharifa is, Uncle Charlie would be Sharifa's grandfather. You met her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her mother, Sharifa's mother, was Uncle Charlie's daughter.
Okay.
With Mama. And Uncle Sharifa's mother's father was our great uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, that's some of the Austin. From when Austin lived there in Wetumpka.
Okay.
The white Austin.
Okay.
And that was her. But see, Uncle Charlie was Mama's grandfather, was his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they, and you know, when I come back down here, and when one of them was a lot, these were not, the mains are, our mama and them, they didn't know it and they never told us. You know why him and his brother, they didn't know they was brothers. See, they wouldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And when they argued about, see, them was nice looking. And see, these are white folks down here thought they could just go with any young white girl. And that's what they got into it about.
The white folks thought that they would go to any young white girl or any young black girl?
Black girls.
Oh, okay.
And so those these was his first children.
Mm-hmm.
Who was grown.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't Megan, ain't Deering, ain't Emma, and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were grown girls. My mama was a little girl back then, see, and they still live down there. I don't know if he had bought some land down there.
Mm-hmm.
See, they was kind of, believing buying land, see.
Mm-hmm.
And them girls would go to Wetumpka.
Mm-hmm.
And this was his brother
Mm-hmm.
that made remarks about them pretty girls,
Mm-hmm.
who was his nieces. But that didn't make them no different.
You mean the white man made remarks about
His children, who was his nieces.
Mm.
And he told him, they got in an argument, and he told them not to never say nothing to his girls.
Who was that? This?
His brother. Well, they didn't know they were brothers then.
Mm.
See, Mama's daddy grandfather was half white.
Mm-hmm.
And his white brother, which was an Austin,
Mm-hmm.
they were grown old men.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like the black people are dealing with the white folks down in Utah. And he told him not to be saying nothing to his girl.
Mm-hmm.
And they got in an argument one Saturday night. His half brothers, and when he shot him, he didn't know see, that's by not telling.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went back home,
Mm-hmm.
his mother told him.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she told him. So you just killed your half brother.
The white man.
The white lady.
And she knew.
She knew. That's right, what white folks knew. The white women knew that they husband would be going with the cook or the whatever, and they. It's a wonder. We was, I tell you, we were lucky, cause it was an old man. Maggie worked for him, but I didn't. Minnie did.
Mm-hmm.
I visited Minnie, and his wife told me and Minnie, in her, they had a store up there in house.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Minnie would stop by there. You know, that's the only store close around the community. And one day, you know what she told her?
Mm.
Y'all good looking girls, and y'all know my husband black. Well, I'm a teenager, Minnie was married.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up there with her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she told us that. And we, you know what we told her?
Mm-hmm.
That he better not say nothing to her.
So what was she telling you? Was she trying to get you to go with him?
No, she was warning us. They really, you know, some white people they really did kind of like, you know, we were neat. And she was telling us as if we didn't already know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what we told her?
Mm-hmm.
He better not say nothing to her.
But he probably had kids around here.
He didn't have no, I don't know. But we were living in Holford. I wasn't living down in this. Wasn't nothing down in this community. The white folk come down here to get you to work for, or come down here and buy whiskey. They didn't food in this. This was a black community there, practically.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this was up in Holford.
And you said when he shot his brother, the wife, it was the wife who already knew that that
Right.
was his half brother.
Right.
And he shot and killed them.
Mm-hmm. One Saturday night, damn time.
What, at a bar or something? Or were they working
No.
somewhere? Or
I don't know. Mama and them never did tell us. I don't know where he killed him, man. He might have been out there. I don't know, it was out there on his farm. They say in Wetumpka.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they meet up down there.
Mm-hmm.
Out in this little on the streets. You know how they did back in the day. It could have been. You know, the courthouse was down there. And I don't know. To this day, I can remember when I grew up, the little black eating place, it was one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where no white, place was. Tavern or anything there in Wetumpka. Well, I wouldn't know. We couldn't go nowhere. Because we just went that little one, on that little one street.
Mm-hmm.
They run off the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been down there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a funeral home down. It's a black funeral home. And that one, Miss Butter's Cafe. It was a cafe. That's what they call it then.
What's there now?
The funeral home is gone. The boys, see how they let it go. They was going to preserve the funeral home, but they didn't. They started, because I knew the first ones on was these boys' dad, and then it come on down. But they it got torn down. I know where. I know the corner it was on. And Miss Butter's Cafe, the only black, wasn't nobody, but the few country folks. And that whole street that's Martin Luther King's Drive. That's where the rich white folks live. And those houses, you see how big all them old houses is? That's old Wetumpka. And the black people live back of that street, West Main, where they kind of well off, the black people own property. But I said, now that was the oldest street in Wetumpka, and it was all white. And they named it after Martin Luther King. I just can't.
Granny, I really wonder how the white women felt about their husbands doing all this.
That's right.
I mean, I wonder if they would try and get their husbands' kids to work for them. Or would they not want them to work for them? How did they relate to these families, knowing that their husbands had a whole family?
They didn't care. Because, see, only exposure that we got about that stuff was maybe knowing some sharecropper's daughter, but they lived on this man's place.
Mm-hmm.
It did, we know this kid look like a white kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the girls would tell us how them are white. See, Dad.
How would they do? What they tell you?
They would force them to have sex with them. Got that right.
How? Like physically, or would they try and say, you're working on my land, you have to do this, or what?
Yes, that's false.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
and they would do it in their houses, or they wouldn't take them back to the big house, I guess.
No, they would come to their house.
And where were their families?
Well, their family, if they say, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't care nothing about their family. Cause I'm gonna tell you an incident Granny had. I don't tell this often.
Mm-hmm.
Some old and Daddy didn't allow us to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
He lived almost to 111. There was some houses. We go out to 111. You know where that church is?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be 2 houses down there. Some old white people moved in here. Old poor white trash.
Mm-hmm.
So he had been over, because Luther sold whiskey and Uncle Joe sold whiskey. Mm-hmm. He had been over there and bought him some whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
This old cripple white man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming. I wasn't what you call. I was just at the lot. Coming from over Sister Millie.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me.
How old were you?
I might have been 14 or 15, 13, 14. It didn't make them no difference.
Mm.
And he called me. And by hand, sneaking around hearing what somebody else said about these old white men, you know what I did?
Mm-hmm.
I'd run. I started running on.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, come back here. That's what this old cripple-ass white man. Daddy never would let us work for him. And here he caught me. See, he's crippled. He could catch me. I know if I got home, I was safe. But see, some of them would run on in the people's house. They didn't respect them, but they respected Dad. I don't know if Dad, Mama was always there. It was just about night. And he come on through the yard and walked on back up there. Now that's the only.
And what happened?
Nothing. I was scared. I wouldn't tell Daddy then, because I know Daddy gonna get that sawed-off shotgun. I was afraid. I didn't want nothing to happen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how they take grown men and beat them and all that stuff. I can remember stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the men that lived on somebody's place, all that stuff would get around. But see, that's the only reason they would be down in this neighborhood. We was protected, I say, God. And that's the only. Mr. Thomas never did say that to me immediately. And we'd go in that store, we'd go in it, so his old wife would always give us y'all candy or something. We'd be coming from work together. Let's stop by and get us some. Benny was a man.
But the man came all the way back here, that crippled white man, he chased
Yeah,
him?
he walked back. He had walked from where you did your walking down here, Deborah.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been across the creek back out of a house over there to Cut Luther's to get him some whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
They bought whiskey from these black folks out here. And see, he is on his way back home. And I was, I kind of saw him, and I walked kind of fast, and then he called me, and I felt like what he was calling me for, because I was a teenager, 12, 13 years old, 14, I don't forgot. But anyway, I didn't answer, I didn't do nothing, I just rolled on in the house. And he come on through the yard, spoke to Mom and them. Mom probably sitting out there under the tree. But I wouldn't tell Dad.
And he spoke to your mother.
Yeah, they didn't, that right.
What did he say? Like, was he friendly or?
They know it. They knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like what he had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
He just jumped in me. All I could think the wrong. And I ran it. And he didn't. He come on through the yard. I don't believe I ever seen him. I don't know if I ever seen him since then. He wouldn't have known nobody because he was drunk, see. And I ran. He come on through our yard. Had to come through there to get back. Yeah, because he had to walk through Uncle Allie's yard in the dirt road. It's where they pay, where that church is.
Mm-hmm.
He lived down there, but all these was dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he had to walk right through Uncle Allie's yard, right through the black neighborhood. But they thought, but they didn't come down in this neighborhood and do no. Because I know I went to school. Well, many went to school with this good-looking girl. And she had, this baby looks just like her. His dad. And somebody, he was meeting the bus out there. We hadn't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And he met the bus where his mother got off the bus. She was still going to school, and we talked with me. And Rose often, our cousin, said, "What old white boy that Bessie meeting you out here every day?" And it was her son. And I saw him, later year. He looked just like that old white. That was the...
He looked like a white man you knew?
We know who his daddy was. She told the Curleys whose place they lived on.
How did y'all how did y'all think of the kids? Of these kind of...
We treated them nice. It wasn't the kids' fault.
How did y'all treat the woman? Could she get married? Would anybody marry him or?
Yeah. Bessie, she was a little older and she married a man a boy that I used to go with. Used to go with me when I was a Sharecropper. She wasn't much older than me. She was older than me. She was more Minnie's age. Well, see, that wasn't 2 years different between me. But she married this boy that I never did like him, but you know how you call yourself having you sneaking around boyfriend. His name was Lemon Calloway.
Mm-hmm.
He was the brother to who Minnie was married to. Yeah, he married her. And
Did they raise their kid?
They never had no kids.
Did they raise that son?
I guess they did, because I left for around then. Most. Yeah, because he used to come down here and he was Alpha's in them age. Her son was. And see, we knew that Daddy never...
Her son was the same age as your younger brother.
He was the same age Alpha now,
okay.
My younger brother.
Okay.
She was more, our age, the child's mother. But she had, and her brothers, I was good friends with her. She had 2 young brothers, George, and I went to school with one of her brothers. And they would tell you, they told her, Whatever I was coming, was walking from up the house. This was during the war. And sometime on Saturday I didn't have to work. I would walk, ride Cleve's bike down here.
Mm-hmm.
I would be coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Daddy's cousin moved out here on Old Curry Place.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy didn't, Daddy. And I understood what he was meaning when he said she shouldn't move out here. Or her husband. They didn't care nothing about your husband. 'Cause she had a grown son, my age. We was tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming down this 111, it was paved.
Mm-hmm.
And this boy come out to the road. He saw, I believe it was might have been me and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I was riding bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
And he come out there crying.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to know what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but we was tight
Mm-hmm.
because his mother and daddy was cousins,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just good friends.
Mm-hmm.
He said that old Curly, his mama, we know the woman got pregnant after she got out there. She moved out there from Wetumpka.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we knew
Mm-hmm.
about it. His mom, and he said, he told us the white man was there waiting till the baby born. Because the woman had a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm going to kill him. That boy was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you thought, a lot of people think people didn't have courage. Some people did.
Uh-huh.
But we talked him out of it. We told him, I never will forget, he was up there on 111 before you get to that white church.
Uh-huh.
And we told him, he told us just what was happening. And she'd go to,
What was happening?
the lady was having a baby, and he was there, because he know it could be his, and it was his.
Mm-hmm.
And that the lady's husband, they didn't respect black men.
Then what happened?
We talked to the boy. He was a teenager. Oh, heck, I wasn't. Yeah, I had finished school. I had to be about 20 or 21.
Mm-hmm.
And he was around my age.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was I'm going to kill him. I'm going to get him away from there, up there waiting. But we...
he was waiting to see the baby or...
Yeah, to see the baby.
He just wanted to see the baby. See if it was his.
That's all. But you...
Go ahead.
Where is that?